Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. And the breaking news that we are bringing to you right now on Channels Television is the final conclusion. I mean, final and conclusion seems like the same, but look, a lot of people will say, at last, isn't it, that election has now been called and concluded, and now we know for sure a winner as far as it's concerned today, Hamadu Fintiri of the PDP, 430,861 votes to defeat APC candidate Ashatu Dahiro Benani, who polled 398,788 votes. That gets our attention tonight, everyone, because that is perhaps the biggest story in the land today, and we're bringing you all of the intrigues and the update in respect of the Adamawa governorship election. Tonight also, Senator Dino Melaye will be joining me. He's the flag bearer of the Kogi PDP governorship in the Kogi governorship race. He was elected on Sunday as the party's candidate. We'll be getting to talk to him on the program. So much that we want to deal with. Hopefully, Governor Hamadu Fintiri will also be joining us live from Yola tonight on the program, and we'll be getting some of his thoughts as he's been declared winner in what has become a month-old drag to the exercise. Everyone, let's calm down and let's get to bring you up to speed with what is happening across the nation on our political roundup stories.
Thank you, Sheon. Good evening, everyone. I am Victoria Longjon, and here are your political roundup stories for today. Justice Inyang Ekwo of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has barred the People's Democratic Party from suspending or expelling members with alleged alliances to the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike. These members had allegedly engaged in anti-party activities masterminded by the Rivers State governor, who is a key member of the G5 governors. Delivering judgment, Justice Ekwo said the fears of these PDP members that they will likely be suspended has been well established, and their expulsion will amount to a breach of their rights to freedom of association. A federal high court in Abuja has refused to grant the request of the All Progressives Congress to remove Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal on account of his unlawful defection from the party to the People's Democratic Party. Justice Inyang Ekwo, in a judgment in the suit instituted by the APC, held that similar requests on similar subject matters have been voided by the Court of Appeal in several judgments. Justice Ekwo said since the judgments of the Court of Appeal holding that governors cannot forfeit their seat on grounds of defection had not been set aside by the Supreme Court, they remain the law and binding on lower courts. Justice Inyang Ekwo has also temporarily declined to hear an application seeking an order of the court restraining the INEC from invalidating her declaration as winner of the governorship election in Adamawa State. Binani had on Monday approached the court for leave to file an application for judicial review of the administrative decision of the INEC made on April 16 in respect of a declaration as winner of the governorship election of Adamawa State held on March 18 and the supplementary elections on April 15. The application for leave to bring the application for judicial review was contained in an ex parte application filed on April 17. However, when the matter was called, Justice Ekwo told the counsel to Binani, Mr. Mohammed Sharif, to first address the court on issues of jurisdiction. Ahead of the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly, the Secretary of the Planning Committee of the All Progressives Congress Presidential Campaign Council, Senator Undoma Egba, is advocating for the office of the Senate President to be zoned to the southeast. Senator Egba made the appeal in Abuja when he hosted the leadership of the Progressive Advisory Forum for Good Governance. He believes such a decision will promote national integration and cohesion through politics of inclusivity. He adds that the presidential election has been won and lost, so it is time for Nigerians to look forward to good governance from the incoming administration of President-elect Bola Tinubu.
My own position has been in the leadership of the National Assembly. Let us look at that part of the country that has consistently cried over marginalization.
The member-elect representing Owerri Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives under the Labour Party, Tochukwu Okere, has promised to offer quality, effective and result-oriented representation to the people of his constituency within the 4 years of his legislative assignment as a lawmaker. The member-elect told his constituents at an interactive session in Owerri that he will ensure that he delivers on all the promises made during his campaign and will ensure that he doesn't break the people's trust freely given to him through votes cast in the February 25 presidential election. He says the interactive session with his constituents, which will be a periodic one, will enable him know the demands and needs of his people.
It's very important that I meet with my people to tell me what I'm supposed to do in Abuja, because this is a representation. That means I'm going to act on behalf of my people.
Nigeria Union of Journalists NUJ Kogi State Chapter has cautioned aggrieved aspirants in the Kogi State Governorship primary elections against misrepresentation of facts regarding the conduct of the elections. The chairman, Kogi State Chapter of the Union, Mr. Adieza Momo, stated this at the NUJ Press Center in Lokoja during the press conference organized by the union to set the facts on the primaries election. He said journalists covered the primaries across the state robustly and their efforts should not be cheapened with falsehoods.
We want to use this medium to advise our politicians to use the prescribed ways of seeking redress whenever the outcome of elections are not favorable to them, rather than resorting to blackmail and attempting to pull everything down.
The Labour Party in Edo State is kicking against the results of the Oremode Federal Constituency results announced by INEC after Saturday's supplementary elections, where Billy Osoawaru of the APC was declared winner. A former Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Mrs. Elizabeth Ativie, who led a protest to the Edo State INEC headquarters in Benin City, is insisting that INEC omitted about 2,400 votes from the main election of February 25 in the final collation of results, which would have given the Labour Party victory in the polls. And those are your political roundup stories. It's back to you, Sheon.
Thank you so much, everyone. There you have it. You've been served with your political roundup stories. Now, at last, one would say the governorship election in Adamawa State has come to a conclusion, with Governor Hamadu Fintiri of Adamawa State and the People's Democratic Party candidate winning the race after almost a month of hanging poll. At the end of the entire exercise, Governor Fintiri polled 430,861 votes, defeating Aishatu Dahiru Binani, who got 398,738 votes. There have been a series of political intrigues leading up to today when INEC decided to declare the result and announce a winner. I'd like you to watch the moment when the returning officer announced the winner of the election and the results.
I, Professor Mohammed Dino Melaye, hereby certify that I am the returning officer for the 2023 Adamawa State Governorship election held on the 15th day of April 2023. The election was contested. The candidates received the following votes. Tahir Hussaini, AA, 643. Dahiru Ahmed Aishatu, APC, 396,788, 396,788. Choli Yahya Abga, 892. Umaru Ahmadu Fintiri, PDP, 430,861. 61. Baba Sina Ibrahim, PRP, 1,188. 1188. Dado Amron, ZLP, 200. 200. That Umaru Ahmadu Fintiri of PDP, having satisfied the requirement of the law, is hereby declared the winner and returned.
There you go. That was the moment when the returning officer announced the final result and the winner in the election. Remember on Sunday what happened as collation was underway. The state resident electoral commissioner, Mr. Hudu Yunusa Ali, prematurely declared Ms. Binani as the winner, contrary to the provisions of the electoral law, an action the electoral umpire, the headquarters said, was null and void. INEC today entered into a closed-door meeting and resolved to write to the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, to probe and prosecute Mr. Ari, the Adamawa rec. The electoral umpire reached a decision when his national commissioners and top officials met at the commission's national headquarters in Abuja earlier in the day over the election in the state. INEC said, quote, it is that writing to the Inspector General of Police for the immediate investigation and possible prosecution of the resident electoral commissioner for Adamawa State, Mr. Hudu Yunusa Ari. Part of the INEC resolution is to request the Secretary to the Government of the Federation to draw the attention of the appointing authority to the unwholesome behavior of the rec for further action. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Akali Baba, has ordered that the Commissioner of Police on election duty in Adamawa said, Mr. Mohammed Bade, to be withdrawn from the state with immediate effect. He also ordered that the Commissioner of Police in charge of Gombe State, CP Etim Okwa, immediately proceed to Adamawa State for election security in the remainder of the supplementary poll. The force police public relations officer Muyiwa Adejobi told journalists today in Abuja earlier today. Take a listen to him.
We are working with INEC to actually do the needful, to make sure we unravel the mystery and investigate those who are involved in that scenario in Adamawa State. As you know, that the INEC is moving ahead with the completion of the supplementary election in Adamawa State. But from the police, the IGP has given directive that the Commissioner of Police there for the election CP Bade should be pulled out of Adamawa State, and the Commissioner of Police in charge of Gombe State, CP Etim Okwa, to proceed to Adamawa immediately to go and supervise the election and provide necessary security to make sure that process is a success. So we are mindful of the fact that there is need for us to look into that case. And if you have any letter from INEC, we will work on that. We have not received any official letter from INEC, but if we receive today, we're going to act appropriately. But we are working, as I speak with you, we are working with INEC to see that matter is adequately investigated. You know, police cannot do electoral offenses, cannot handle electoral offenses alone. We need to work with INEC. And that is what we are doing presently. We will do the needful to make sure that matter is adequately investigated.
That is police spokesperson Muyiwa Adejobi in the redeployment of the CP in Adamawa, the Commissioner of Police in Adamawa State. Meanwhile, after the announcement of the winner himself, Governor Ahmadu Fintiri, has given an acceptance speech. In that speech, which he gave at the Government House in Yola, he had commended INEC for ensuring that the mandate of the people is not subverted. He also commended the people of Adamawa State for voting him for a second term. Governor Ahmadu Fintiri said that he will operate an inclusive government as he calls on his opponents to join him in building an Adamawa State of his dream. So we will be joining Governor Ahmadu Fintiri just in a moment. He will be live with us. We're live there at the Government House in Yola to get his very first thoughts after being declared winner in what has become a very, very interesting and very controversial scenario leading up to the election. I mean, the conclusion of the election. All right, then, let's look at one issue for a moment before we go to Yola. Well, Senator Dino Melaye is the People's Democratic Party candidate for the Kogi State Governorship election, which is now scheduled for November the 11th, 2023. Senator Melaye polled 313 votes to defeat his closest rival, Jabiru Usman, who polled 127 votes. The chairman of the PDP Primary Election Committee, Senator Ahmed Makarafi, announced the results on Sunday at the end of the indirect primary, which held in Lokoja, the Kogi State capital. A former Deputy Governor, Yomi Awuni, scored 77 votes, and the PDP governorship candidate in 2019, Musa Wada, had a total of 56 votes. Mr. Dino Melaye will contest the November 11 polls alongside our former Auditor General of the local government in Kogi State, Usman Ododo, who is the candidate of the APC in the state, and the likes of Honorable Leke Abejide, a sitting member of the House of Reps, who emerged as a candidate of the ADC. Senator Dino Melaye, governorship candidate of the PDP in the Kogi governorship race, joins us live here in our studio. Thank you so much, Governor Senator Dino Melaye.
Thank you very much. From your mouth to God's ears.
It was a slip. That was not anything intentional.
I take it as a prophecy.
Well, it was a slip, so you can't count on that. But let's begin the conversation. How does this come to you, though? I mean, having to be the flag bearer of your party.
First, I will say to God Almighty be the glory forever and ever. I thank and appreciate God, the supreme controller of the universe. And I would say I'm very excited, I'm very happy because of my intentions towards the state. So for me, it's a welcome development, and it is not a victory for Dino Melaye. It's a victory for the people of Kogi State, who will be liberated from the present maladministration in the state. It's a welcome development. We're excited about it, and we are sure of taking the state.
Would you say, in the scenario that presented itself, that Kogi PDP has the best candidate in Dino Melaye compared to the others in terms of experience, in terms of profile, in terms of education, and in terms of capacity?
Anyway, the PDP at all times have better candidates at all levels of election in this country. We've always been presenting the best candidates because the PDP is the oldest political party in this country. So the PDP have more experienced individuals and characters than any other political party in this country. The PDP is as old as the Fourth Republic of this country. Parties like APC, and they are operating in less than a decade. So the PDP will always present a better candidate. For example, the candidate of the APC is a civil servant who just left office about a month ago as the Auditor General of the local government. And what's his pedigree? What's his political experience? He's never contested any election in his life, not even being a class monitor. You know, so you cannot compare him with, I've been a presidential aide in this country. I've been a member of the House of Representatives. I've won elections to the Senate twice. I have the political experience and otherwise, and even the intellectual mobility to govern the states, because I've got different degrees at different levels. So, and apart from that, I'm from a very just humanitarian political party, the PDP. So you cannot be talking about comparative analysis of experience, because even as a party, the APC is still a child. It's still a crawling political party, while the PDP is a very mature political party, 25 years running.
I'm surprised that you are describing the APC, I mean, a party who, that you were very much part of in the beginning.
Yeah.
Now that you're in the PDP, you see it differently.
I'm sure I want to tell you that anytime you are going to Israel or you are going to Canaan land, you must pass through Egypt. So my sojourn in the APC was passing through Egypt to the Promised Land.
So, and you didn't see all of this when you were there?
I saw it. That's why I zoomed. That's why we left unceremoniously, because light and darkness don't concur.
You left because of the fact that you couldn't get what you wanted.
No, I didn't go. It was not even time for elections before I left. I left because light and darkness don't concur. I left because I cannot be a party to a political party at that time that have no board of trustee, that have no national working committee, that has bedeviled this country, that is responsible for kidnapping today, is responsible for killings, is responsible for insecurity, is responsible for...
That would be a statement that you cannot validate. I mean, except if you can give evidence. When you say a political party is responsible for killing, a political party is responsible for kidnapping, How can you substantiate those kind of claims?
When you go into elections, you are not voting for individuals. You are voting for a political party. And a political party is the party in power in Nigeria today. So you cannot separate the political party from the governance of this country, because the political party in power, on the ballot paper, in the last election, you will not see Atiku Abubakar. You will not see Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but you will see APC, you will see PDP. So you cannot divert APC from what is happening.
No, maybe it's the use of your adjectives and the use of your language that is wrong. When I say Dino Melaye is responsible for the loss of my pen, just because you are in the same room with me might be wrong if you are not directly responsible. When you say the APC is responsible for kidnapping and killing, and you don't have, you are alleging a criminal offense on a group of people, and you need to be able to validate your claims.
I still maintain that you are getting it wrong, because the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria have stated clearly that the security and the welfare of the people shall be the primary occupation of government. And in this regard, government and the political party in power have failed to protect both security and the welfare of the people.
So let me tell you grammatically what you meant. You were saying those kidnappers and those who are killed people are members of the APC. That was what you are inferring.
That is not what I was inferring.
That's what I'm saying, that you are grammatically wrong in your language and what you've said. When you're saying the party is responsible for
Professor Sheung.
I'm not a professor.
No, you are now speaking as if you're a professor of linguistics.
No, I'm telling you what is right or wrong. I'm a student of literature.
It is not wrong. I'm also a student of literature.
You need to put it right.
I want to tell you that when I use a subordinate adjectival clause to express a statement, does not directly transfer, understand, into the subject matter. What I'm saying in essence is that this country today is being governed by the APC, and the APC cannot separate herself from the negative satanic manifestations in this country. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying members of the APC are kidnappers. They may be, but I'm not saying. But I'm saying that the party have not been able to curtail.
You need to, when you get home, watch back the tape and look at the coination of your language. That's what I'm saying. That those kind of assertion on a national television, you need to be able to substantiate that. But let's go into the issue, the reason why we invited you tonight. And it's about your the mandate that you have on your shoulder now. That is being the flag bearer of the PDP. There is some agitation about that primary, the conduct of that primary, and those who have said, look, that was not just. And perhaps let me allow you to listen to one of the aspirants whom you ran against, and that's the former Deputy Governor, Mr. Awuniyi. This is their own take about the exercise.
We would like to put the party on notice. We demand that the right thing is done. We demand that the delegate list that emerged from the processes put in place by the party on the 29th of March and on the 8th of April, we demand that these lists are used. It is not acceptable to us that we are being compelled or being coaxed to use a delegate list that is foreign to the process that took place.
How do you react to those?
Anyway, I want to say that it's a pity that that kind of statement is coming from my brother. The truth of the matter is that there were complaints by some of the aspirants. They said, initially, 153 names were altered in the delegate list. After the appeal committee sat and did some amendment, they said it is now 60 names that were tampered with, according to them, the aspirants. But they are not the ones who conducted the Congress. Those who conducted the Congress are the ones who can tell you what the list is. And they submitted their report to the headquarters of the party. But let's go to the results. I pulled that. Number one, nobody will come and tell you that the process or the election proper is not transparent. It's the fairest and most transparent primaries ever conducted in Kogi State. And INEC adjudged to that yesterday. So what I'm saying in essence is that I pulled 313 votes. The next person who came second pulled 124 votes. So even if you go by their complaint of 60 names added, deduct 60 from 313, I will still win. Deduct even the 153 before they claim there was a correction from my vote, I will still win. He, my brother, the former deputy governor, scored 77 votes. Take the 150, add the 60, and still add to his votes. He still will not measure up to the number of votes I have. So the truth of the matter is that it is clear. I scored 313. The man who came second scored 124. The man who came third scored 121 before Yomi Awoniyi scored 77. But we kept quiet because we will not make noise. We will not, the truth will always be the truth. And we went to the contest and the winner has emerged. And my appeal is that we all are brothers. We all are in the business of salvaging Kogi State from the economic cankerworm and financial scavenger called the Ayabelu. Today, our focus is to make sure that we bring back the long-lost reputation of Kogi State. Anywhere you go in this country today, you say, I'm from Kogi State. The next thing is, that Ayabelu State. So that we want to correct that. The PDP want to correct that. So I'm going to work with my brothers, all the co-aspirants.
Have you reached out to them?
Yes.
Because the agitation...
I've met 5 out of 7.
Because, I mean, the words, these are the words of the aspirants and your opponents in that primary. They said, in fact, the election has been rigged before the election, the primary held on Sunday. That, in fact, the list was concocted and was a fraudulent list.
I just told you now that in their own complaint, in the first instance, they allege 153 names
that were added to the list.
No, 153 names were replaced. That's their complaint to the appeal. After the appeal again submitted their report, they said it has been reduced now to 60. And I'm not telling you that the margin of win between 313 and 124 is 2 times more than the number they are even asking that, allegedly they are saying was replaced. So what I'm saying is that I scored the majority lawful vote in that election. And I have close to half of the total vote cast in the election, while about 7 people shared the half.
But talking about sharing, there were allegations also that there were a lot of monies that exchanged hands in that election. Who bankrolled you?
Anyway, I'm not a staff of the EFCC or ICPC. I wouldn't know if there was money planned. But the issue, if at my level, I cannot finance a primary, then there's a problem somewhere. But definitely, God bankrolled me. I bank with the Almighty God.
I mean, so in all of these that we hear that happened in and around before the primary, a lot of monies were being given to delegates. How much did you give to your own delegates?
I gave them anointing oil.
For mobilization?
I gave them anointing oil and it did the magic.
That's what you did?
Yeah. I just told you that I believe in Philippians chapter 4 verse 19, that God shall supply all my needs according to his riches and glory in Christ Jesus. And I'm telling you that he did it.
All right, we're due for a break, Senator Dino Melaye.
Thank you.
And we'll be talking about, when we come back, we'll be talking about your capacity, the issue of zoning, the people of your area, the Okun, Okun people of Kogi State in the Kogi West Senatorial District, and the agitation of balancing of power in Kogi State. How that will stand in the face of the APC candidate and other candidates in the race. You'll be telling us more about this. Plus, we're hoping to also join Governor Ahmadu Fintiri for some of his reaction to the outcome of the Adamawa governorship election. Stay with me, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us on the program. Senator Dino Melaye is the governorship candidate of the PDP in Kogi State and has been talking to us in the aftermath of that election, the primaries which took place on Sunday. Don't forget, also, we have our eyes live in Yola, the capital of Adamawa State, hoping that Governor Ahmadu Fintiri will be joining us tonight on the program. Reactions on his announcement as the winner of that election. Let's get back to the conversation with Mr. Dino Melaye. Give me an understanding of those who do not think that you have the capacity. In fact, Governor Wike the other day, they dismissed you as a serious candidate. He doesn't think that you have what it takes to be the governor of Kogi State.
Anyway, I've decided to not to react to garbage trucks any longer. Already, he was talking to me then as Senator Dino Melaye. Today, I'm governorship candidate of the PDP in Kogi State. So, and the primary elections in Kogi State have proven that I am qualified because the delegates of my party have voted me and I won with a very wide margin. That is a message to Nyesom Wike that I am qualified to be governor of Kogi State. And
winning a primary is a prerequisite to you being, having the capacity to become a governor?
Because when 10 people run primaries, the delegates will assess the 10 of you and go for the best. And they have gone for the best. And the assessments of those delegates also counts. Apart from the fact that I was a member of the House of Representatives, I was a two-time, I won elections to the Senate 2 consecutive times. More than enough. Academic qualification, political experience, everything shows how qualified I am. I was best senator, Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2016. I was best senator 2017. I was best senator 2018, consecutively.
Who were judging these best?
The press corps and those who covered the activities of the National Assembly, both inside and outside chambers. They did the announcement, the press corps of the National Assembly. And that is the only body that gives award in that of the best senator or reps in the National Assembly.
I mean, being a lawmaker and governing a state...
And I had the highest number of motions and bills.
So being a lawmaker and governing a state are two different things.
They're not two different things.
No, they are two different things. Being a lawmaker and being an executive member overseer of a state are two different things.
Let me tell you what...
There are two different arms of government there.
Let me tell you what a legislator does. Every legislator has got 3 primary objectives or cardinal responsibilities. 1, the act of lawmaking through bills, motions. 2nd, representation, making sure your people get their fair share of the national cake. 3rd is oversight functions over the MDAs. And in your oversight function over the MDAs, you are querying the activity of the executive. Because the MDAs cumulatively form the executive. Because you're talking about ministries, departments, and agencies of government, including the presidency, falls under the oversight purview of the National Assembly. So there's nothing happening in the executive that the legislator does not have an understanding of, because you carry out oversight functions over them. You look into their books, you ask questions, you query their services, their expenditures. So you are not in the dark about the operations of the executive.
So you're inferring that as long as you're being a lawmaker, you equally can be in the executive.
As long as you are a good lawmaker, as long as you are a brilliant lawmaker, as long as you are an effective lawmaker, you will have the understandings of the operations of the executive through your oversight functions of the MDAs.
Why does your opponent think that you cannot be taken seriously?
Because they themselves are not serious. If they are serious, they will know I should be taken seriously.
Because the inference is that, oh, this is not drama. I mean, it cannot be taken seriously.
Today, many people were laughing out the governor of Osun State. They feel he just dances. Today, I don't think Osun State have produced a governor within the shortest time frame who has done what Adeleke is doing. People's side attractions should not determine the magnitude or intensity of their productivity. Senators are human beings. They don't have kerosene flowing through their veins. They have blood flowing in their veins. And you should be original. You should not be pretentious. You should not live a deceptive lifestyle. But that's your side attractions should have nothing to do with the strength, the level of your productivity. Today, I can decide to stop by the roadside and buy bolly and laugh and dramatize. But that's have nothing to do with the effectiveness or productivity level of Dino Melaye as a governor. Because we are all the same. At the time, an actor was an effective governor in America, Arnold Schwarzenegger. We've seen a comedian become president in Ukraine, doing what generals cannot do. So people's size attraction should not be the measure for the level of their competence, for the level of their capabilities, for the level of their productivity. It is myopic, porous, parochial, and intellectually stagnant to begin to judge one by your side attractions.
You think that you can disappoint your critics who think that, well, the business of governing a state is more, I mean, needs a bit of a piety than what Dino Melaye possesses.
I just told you that while I sing and dance on the social media, I was adjudged best senator of the Federal Republic thrice. And while I was in the House of Reps twice, I was adjudged best House of Representative member. And I'm telling you that, again, in 4 years, I had over 200 projects in the length and breadth of Kogi West, which are verifiable, you can see, you can find out.
Why do you want to be governor?
I want to be governor because we are living right now in Kogi State in perilous times. We are living in times of vicissitude and vacillation.
What do you mean?
We are living in times of opprobrium.
What do you mean?
Salaries are not being paid. Stealing has become the order of the day.
What are the details of that? Do you have the details of salaries that have not been paid? Who are those that are being owed salaries? At what segment?
I can tell you that every civil servant in Kogi State is being owed salary.
Is that true, though?
And there's percentage payment of 15%, 20% salary in Kogi State. Pensions are not being paid. No training or retraining of teachers or the public service people in Kogi State. As I speak to you, the Governor Yaya Bello cannot be proud of one correct project. One project that he's saying he did is a center table. He built in Lokoja. He called it flyover. And that is the shortest flyover in the history of the world. Once you take off on the flyover, in 30 seconds you have descended. You cannot even call it a bridge. It's a center table.
What about the hospital that was flagged off by President Buhari in, was it Okene or so?
Is it proper for you to be flagging off hospital 7th year of your administration?
No, but you said that...
You are doing...
I
said completed projects.
No, but,
that one was flagged off, not commissioned.
No, it was commissioned.
It wasn't commissioned.
We saw it on television.
I said it has not been commissioned. You are a journalist and you practice what I call investigative journalism.
Senator Dino Melaye.
You practice investigative journalism. Send people there tomorrow. Please, send people there tomorrow. If you go and see a completed project.
No, because the reason why I'm saying that, except if you have alternative fact to what we're saying, is that I think we covered it live.
I will not want...
No, just a moment. You remember the incident that happened? There was a bomb that went off, or an explosion that went off on that same day at the palace, and which was not too far from the facility. And we saw that on live television when that was happening. So except if what we saw in that facility does not exist.
I'm telling you that the Yaya Bello administration is criminal-minded.
What do you mean by that?
I am telling you today, you are a journalist. Please practice investigative journalism. Get Channel's crew tomorrow to go and do an inspection of that project. And please report publicly. I challenge you.
We'll take up the challenge, but we've been there. I can tell you that.
You've been to the section that was showcased as commissioning.
Because we understand what we've been told was that he has a facility that is nowhere around this
even in the world, it's around the world.
Around this part of the country. That's what we've been told.
That's a Boju 4119.
Now, the issue of the Kogi West people, the Okun people, extraction of Kogi State, and the agitation for power balancing. But there is a candidate of the APC. And if you look at the permutation and the political mathematics in Kogi State, you will discover that over the years, the people of Kogi State have had perhaps a third number of, in terms of hierarchy of vote, as senatorial district has a third in that order. I think is Kogi Central, isn't it? Kogi North and Kogi West.
No, Kogi West, Kogi Central, and Kogi East.
Kogi East. Now, so in that scenario, how do you see this playing out? Do you see this mathematics playing against you coming from Kogi West?
The truth of the matter is that it's past that age and time where you think population and numbers will win election for a particular place. Nigerians are wiser now. Nigerians go for who the candidate is. It's the candidate that will determine the election. It's not the political or population spread or land mass that will determine the elections. We fielded a candidate from the eastern part of the country, understand, in 2019. We fielded a candidate from the eastern part, and they have the numbers, but our candidate did not win. So what I'm saying in essence is that these days, it is the candidate you are fielding, it is the personality you are fielding that will determine the vote you are going to get. And apart from that, I want to assure you that for equity, for justice, all political parties should have zoned their governorship to Kogi West, because the eastern part of the country, they've had it for 16 years. The central, at the expiration of this, government, they will be spending 8 years. And we have never tested it in the West. So naturally, it should be the turn of the West senatorial districts. And because the people of the Central in the PDP are so responsible, because of the people of the Central are so, they're a unique set of people. Nobody bought form for the governorship of Kogi State from the Central.
In your party?
In my party. That's why I said we are the only reasonable political party. We are the only responsible political party. Our people are very, very objective. So they were reasonable. Nobody bought it from the Central. So that is why you can know that naturally, for equity, it should move to the Western Senatorial District. But I want to assure you, Shehu, that the PDP will give a wide margin to the APC and other political parties in this governorship election. You can take it to the bank.
What gives you that confidence?
What gives me that confidence is the level of maladministration, the level of satanism, the level of wickedness, the level of stealing, the level of underdevelopment, the level of insecurity that is in Kogi State today.
Are you willing to debate ideas with the APC, ADC, and other political parties on how to move Kogi forward?
I am ready to debate ideas with any of them, APC and others, even tonight.
Because the question will be the interest of the Kogi people. You are one person that held the microphone, stood on the stage, and proclaimed Governor Yaya Bello, whom you are heavily criticizing tonight, as God sent, as the only option for the Kogi people
because at that time I was a member of that party, and I do not have the celestial powers to see the future. Even God who created man said, I regret creating man. That's the God Almighty.
So
who said he regretted creating man?
Why,
and you cannot tell me that you have never taken a wrong decision.
Why should the people of Kogi State now believe you? Because you have once said this was the best. Now you say it's not.
Because there's a difference between supporting another person's program and agenda and yours. I have no control over the mind or the brain of Yaya Bello. Yaya Bello will always be who he is. People go to church every Sunday. They get preached to every Sunday. They still get out of church and manifest some wicked and nefarious tendencies.
But your judgment of Yaya Bello at the time is now wrong, isn't it?
What was my judgment about him?
You told us that I was the best. That he was God sent. That was what you were announcing him on stage at the time.
People should get the statement right. I said God. What I said in clear terms. I said the people of Kogi State voted for Abubakar Audu, but God voted for Yaya Bello. Talking about the divine nature of his emergence. That is what I meant.
But
I said God.
Do you regret that statement?
I have no regret because it is God that brought him, because he did not win any election. He did not participate in the process. He just became a governor by accident, by divination, and by the act of God. So that is why I said at that time that where the people of Kogi voted for Abubakar Audu, unfortunately, may his soul rest in peace, he passed away. I said God voted for Yaya Bello, meaning that he did not participate in the process, but God, in his infinite divinity, brought him into power.
Just give me a moment. Let me go to Yola, where Governor Ahmadu Fintiri is standing by for us to speak with us. Your Excellency, thank you so much, and good evening to you. Congratulations, I guess, is in order. Let me first and foremost, within the very short time that we have left on the program, ask you, how does it feel after a month of hung poll? Now the poll has been concluded. How do you feel this evening after you've been declared winner?
To God be the glory. I feel great. I feel satisfied. And I feel happy that God has spoken through the Adamawa people, and Adamawa have won. Congratulations.
Did you ever envisage that this race was going to be this intense? Your closest rival is a woman from the APC and is giving you a run for your money. What does this race, what has it taught you?
I don't think I have run against any woman in Adamawa State. I run against enemies of democracy outside Adamawa State. And their gang up has not gotten anywhere. I think for now, we give God the glory.
If you say you're not running against a woman, that you run against those who ganged up against you, why would there be a gang up against you? What did you do? Why is Adamawa on the spotlight? Why would anybody gang up against you? Is there anything, is there any reason for this?
They decided to be enemies of democracy. And the only scapegoat they can find is in Adamawa State. They wanted to put a woman in their party, forgetting that we have performed excellently well in this state. Our people love us. They have voted for continuity. They have voted for continuation of excellent rural and urban infrastructure. They have voted for human and capital development that we have laid a very good foundation for. They have voted for excellent healthcare system and program of the state. They have voted for healthcare insurance. They have voted for continuation of free and quality education in the state. They voted for free payment of WAEC and NECO, and other excellent things that have made life very meaningful for the good people of the state.
Some drama played out.
For the process, I think, since...
Go ahead, please.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
What is the drama?
Some drama played out over these elections. The election was declared inconclusive. There was the announcement of Mrs. Binani as the winner of the election. The REC is now being asked to be prosecuted and investigated. The CP has now been replaced. A lot of things have happened, a lot of water under the bridge. This has also put some kind of challenge on our democracy and put a question mark on the loopholes in our electoral process. For you as a politician, what lesson would you say this has taught you?
I think everybody has learned his lesson. INEC itself as an umpire have learned a lot of lessons. and they have corrected their wrongs so that they can protect the institution. Police that is supposed to protect democracy became caught up in the whole saga. It's unfortunate. It's a disgrace. But I think everybody is picking up, and they are trying to correct their wrongs. Time will tell if these people will be properly prosecuted. But if they don't prosecute, this criminality took place in Adamawa State, and I'm going to prosecute them.
Now, with all of those things that have happened across a party line, it's thrown up a lot of division in Adamawa State. Adamawa State historically, well, highly sophisticated political people, but I'm not sure there has been a time that the people of the state have been this divided. You are the burden as a leader and as a governor of the state to unite your people. Where would you start from? Is it going to be with reaching out to Mrs. Binani?
I think this charade that took place in the last 3 weeks have not put any line between our people. We are still one and divided. The people that won in this democracy, in this whole struggle, is the people of Adamawa State. And I think we are still one, irrespective of where one has voted in the last election. I'm the governor for all of them.
Now, let me ask you, going forward, perhaps if you thought that the race was going to be easy, it didn't turn out to be an easy one. But now that you have won, the people of Adamawa State...
It's very easy. It went easy and smooth.
Yeah, in terms of, I'm not sure that you thought that you were going to have an intense race. You just had about 30-something thousand vote margin between you and your immediate opponent. But the question I wanted to draw out here... In
Ogun, the governor won with 12,000. In Kaduna, the governor won with 10,000. There are some that won with far more less than 34,000 or 36,000 share. I think that figure is big and large enough for one to congratulate me. No, convincingly.
Yeah, one has congratulated you, but what I'd like you to say tonight to the people of Adamawa State is what they're expecting from you. You've come out of a very tumultuous political period.
You saw in the attitude.
What would you be doing to them? What should the people of Adamawa be expecting?
I told you much earlier that I did not contest against a woman or APC. I contested against the whole system. I contested against those who feel they own Nigeria from Abuja, and they feel they can make Adamawa a scapegoat. God is more than them. Even in the election, I didn't go into the election against the woman. I went into the election against INEC. The whole presiding officers that were conducting the elections at the PU, all of them are APC members. All of them are APC executives. All of them are APC officials. So you can see that our people have spoken for us to have gotten out of this mess.
All right. Governor Fintiri, just in 30 seconds, what should the people of Adamawa State, because governance is what should be the next business now after the politicking and politics, what should the people of Adamawa be expecting from you? Just in 30 seconds, if you can tell them tonight.
Adamawa people know what they should expect. They are going to expect far more than what we have started. And we have started well. And inshallah, we will end well, excellently. We will perform more credibly than what we did in the past.
Governor Ahmadu Fintiri, congratulations one more time for emerging victorious in this, what has become a very tumultuous election. But I wish you and the people of Adamawa State the very best in the coming days. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening.
Senator, 30 seconds, your final thought.
My final thought is that the people of Kogi State should rejoice because we are coming to correct the wrath of the APC. We are coming to ameliorate and palliate the bastardization of our state, the looting of our state, and the introduction of violence, killings in our state. We are going to have a new Kogi State where justice, where egalitarianism becomes the order of the day, where salaries will be paid, where there will be infrastructural development, where there will be training and retraining of the civil service, where we are going to make sure by the special grace of God that we digitalize all the analog practice in the states. We are not going to have a state where masquerades will be celebrated.
All right. We're totally out of time. Some people were asking me, and your social media friends were asking whether you are going to create a ministry of enjoyment, because you are a senator who likes enjoyment.
Definitely, definitely there will be
a Friday where they'll have an open day where
as a governor, I will have carnival with the people. As governor, there will be entertainment. As governor, there will be parks and recreation centers in Kogi State, where it will become a tourist attraction to people like you, bourgeois from Abuja, to visit.
I won't say anything. You wanted me to react. That's why you said so. But you guys, you know who you are. Thank you so much, Senator Dino Melaye, for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. I wish you the very best, because the race has just begun. The campaigns will soon begin. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching tonight. I'm sure I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. God bless you.